Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us at this opening event of our celebration of 100 years of quantum theory here in Oxford. And many great thanks to the Merton College chapel and to the fellows and students of the college for allowing us to begin our proceedings here. Particular thanks to Jen Compton, the verger, and Benjamin Nicholas, the musical director, who've been so important behind the scenes in allowing all this to happen. So my name is Chris Timpson. I'm Professor of Philosophy of Physics here in Oxford. And I'm organizing our celebrations of 100 years of quantum theory. So, as some of you will know, 2025 is the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, chosen as being 100 years since Heisenberg's discovery of matrix mechanics on the island of Helgoland in 1925. It's also, November is the UK's month for the International Year of the Quantum, and in fact today is also World Philosophy Day, UNESCO's World Philosophy Day. So this congruence of so many things of which I like very much makes me very happy, and happier still to see so many of you here to enjoy what is going to be a very innovative musical event to open our celebrations of the International Year of Quantum Theory here in Oxford. So we have before us a premiere of a new symphony written specifically for this occasion by Rakhat-Bi Abdyssagin. He, in a moment, is going to explain a little bit behind the conception of the music, and his collaborator, Bob Coecke, is going to explain a little bit behind the new musical instrument, which we're also going to be hearing, the quantum guitar. And I'll hand over now to Rakhat-Bi and to Bob to introduce the music.
Hello, everyone. And thank you very much for coming. I am delighted and very grateful for this occasion. And it is very symbolic that this world premiere is happening in Oxford. Since in 2023, I gave a talk at Merton College at Rakhat-Bi group. And then they suggested me to write a book about my research on correlations between quantum mechanics and avant-garde music, which I was working on while visiting scholar at Merton College in Michaelmas term 2023. So essentially, Oxford is a place where most of this research got crystallized and finally published as a book last year. And essentially, what you are going to hear now, if the book was a theory, now it's going to be experiment. So essentially, this music implements all these ideas. It is a quantum universe, organ symphony, which is a very well established romantic genre, since organ is an instrument which is sonoristically and timbrally capable of being as an entire symphonic orchestra. And this is a piece where phenomena of quantum mechanics like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, Pauli exclusion principle, superposition, entanglement are being implemented in a musical sense. And also elements from quantum interpretations like many worlds interpretation or Everettian mechanics are being represented as different sides of form and phases of form in this piece of music. So, and even if you look at the scores, there are some aspects which look like Dirac's bracket notation, which musically were thought as showing the harmonic field, and then music kind of individually gauging the particles. So there are many aspects of metaphoric correlation and implementing the quantum phenomena using musical language. So it is the first ever quantum organ symphony. And another aspect which makes it very unique is that this is the first time that one of the oldest instruments in the world, pipe organ, is being entangled with one of the newest instruments, quantum guitar, which was invented and created here and is going to be performed by my colleague and collaborator, Bob Coecke, who is very well familiar to Oxford. So, Bob, if you could say a few words.
I should have put on a slide, but for the specialist, this is my music score. It looks very different than a usual music score. This is how I read music. So you can see here Dirac brackets, which actually emerged in Rakhat-Bi's score without him knowing it. And it's very nice. You find all these interproducts here. This is how I read music. It looks very different than standard music notation, but that's how I read music. That's what I'm doing. I come from a very different musical background than Rakhat-Bi, of course. I come from a field or area which is called industrial music, where I started playing in the late 80s, then took a big break, and now, well, I mean, industrial music meets orchestral organ, and that's what we're going to hear today. So just because this is a Templeton-funded event, I should say that the first time we played together, it was in Vienna, we were both supposed to give separate concerts. And at the end said, okay, let's try to do something together. And it worked out. And that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously my score, which I wrote, is very different to that because it's written using very traditional notation so that it can be performed by other musicians. But that's, let's say, another language which Bob uses. So it's essentially like metaphorically having matrix mechanics of Heisenberg and wave mechanics of Schrödinger, which are about the same thing, but in different languages. So these are like our different languages.
Yeah, I mean, people who know my science work, they know I've got something with inventing new languages and stuff like that. I happen to do this a lot.
Yeah, so thank you very much and enjoy. So thank you again for coming. Well, the epigraph of this piece was that the void is not nothing. It is less than nothing, but more than everything. Yes, so I would very much like to thank Chris Timpson and the John Templeton Foundation for funding this conference. And I am deeply grateful to Ben and Nicholas for hosting this event at the Merton College Chapel. And thank you very much to everyone for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.